You've opened the Powers Playbook, your guide to family, wealth, and real estate.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Powers Playbook. Play we're running today is we are going to do a market update, our monthly market update. This will come out in the month of May. We're actually filming this at the very beginning of May, so I'm going to go over the final numbers for March today. They'll be a little bit in arrears, but it'll still be a good point to tell you where we're at as far as the Las Vegas and Henderson real estate market, where we're at with single-family condos and townhouses. Also, what our change is potentially either month over month or year over year, depending on the statistic. I'll try to tell a little bit of a story to you so that you can kind of get a reference point. And then the last part of this is always just going to be, what are we seeing? Like what in our actual transactions with our clients, regardless of what the statistics say, what are we actually seeing in the marketplace? What changes are we making? What failures or successes have we had? Things like that. So we'll keep adding that in once a month for you too. So this is going to be your numbers for March of 2026. The reason that we're filming it so early, generally I'll have April's numbers, but we're at the beginning of May. The Powers family is going on a Disney cruise. And so we'll be gone for a week when this comes out. And so I'm pre-recording so that me and Emily and the kids will be on a big ship somewhere and who knows where. So wish us luck. It'll be our first time ever going on a cruise. So we did it big, and we're doing a Disney cruise with the kids, and hope to have a lot of fun. So that should be awesome. So let's jump into it. These numbers come from LVR, which is Las Vegas Realtors. It's our realtor association here in Vegas. And we're going to start with single family units. So we sold 2,288 units. We were up 6.8%. We had 3,367 new listings, up just 0.8%. And the amount of units available, 6,456. These are all single family, by the way. Ours up 19.2%. So you can see that we are growing. The growth numbers are from the previous year. Okay, so we are up 19.2% in available supply from this time last year. So our supply is growing, right? We're coming in now to like the May, June, July, where it's like kids are getting out of school, families can travel, they can relocate. So it'll be interesting to see. Remember that unit available number. Be interesting to see what that is. Median price for single family, $480,000. It's down 1% from last year. So people are telling me, oh, prices are falling. Single family units down 1% from last year. So very small number. Just to give you context of what 1% of 480,000 is, it's $4,800. So not a big change. Median price for new listings means the price that they're coming on, $525,000. Up 0%. It's exactly the same median price as we had last year at this time. So is price really changed all that much in the last year? It has not. It is very, very similar. The difference is our availability. So our months of inventory right now, 2.8 months of supply. That's up 11% from last year. Okay. So what that means is if we never listed another property from today on, how long would it take us to sell through them all at the rate that we're selling homes? It would take almost 3 months. Still a relatively lower supply in the context of things. We'll talk about this a little more, but there just aren't quite as many buyers in the marketplace, and that's why I think prices are holding. All right, we'll get in quickly to condo and townhouse. So they're separated in this report. We have single family on one side, condo townhouse on the other. Condo townhouses, units sold 518, that's down 9%. New listings, 1,011, that's down 4%. And units available, 2,568, that's up 16.5% from last year. Okay, so very similar trend. The sold and listings new are actually down a little bit, but the units available, just like the other, is up. Median price for condo and townhouse, $295,000 for units sold. Median price sold, $295,000. That's down 3.8%. Median price for new listings, $290,000. That's down 3.3%. So slightly down on price. Just a little bit more condo and townhouse than single family. Something interesting to note. Effective availability of those 5 months supply of inventory, that's up 28.2%. So quite a bit more inventory than this time last year for condos and townhouses. All right, I kind of told you about price already. The number of units sold, interestingly enough, in single family was 2,288. That is up 41% from February. So we sold 41% more homes in March than we did in February. That means that the market is starting to pick up. And that should continue, I believe, to happen. It's happening in our business. We're seeing our listings starting to get just more activity recently, more showings. So that's great news if you're thinking about selling a home. In the same context, that condo townhouse units sold 518, up 9.3% from February, which is the month before. All right, so interesting to note that we're starting to sell more. All right, new listings. We had 3,367 new single family listings. That is up 0.8%, meaning that they're roughly still the same number of new listings coming on the market. On your condo townhouse, it was 1,011, and that is down 4% this month. So not a big change in either one, still kind of listing the same amount of properties. Units available, like we talked about, the month's supply of inventory, from February to March in single family is up 12%. So there's more on the market, and in condo townhouse is up 11%. So those are growing. We have more supply than we did the month before. All right. Time on market. We're going to talk about days on market. When we talk about days on market, this is the time it takes from the day that it's listed until it goes under contract. This is not listed to all the way officially sold and closed. Okay, so it's listed to under contract. In March of 2026, 54.5% of homes, single family homes, were under contract in less than 30 days. So over half of the properties that were listed still went under contract in less than 30 days. That's pretty good. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as far as what we're seeing in the market. 17% of them took 31 to 60 days, 10% 61 to 90 days, 7% 91 to 120 days, and 10% took over 121 days. Okay, so what that tells you is about half of the listings are pricing right, and they're pricing aggressively enough to be the ones that stand out and sell in less than 30 days. All right. In condo and townhouse, it's very similar. They are in between 0 and 30 days, 49.8%. So just under half the listings are selling within the first 30 days. Very similar numbers, 31 to 60, 18%, 61 to 90, 10%, 91 to 120, 8.5%, and 121 or more, 12%. So not a big change, in those. I will tell you as well, these slides that I'm using, the numbers that we're giving you, they come out at the end of every month. It's where we recap the month before. If you want these at all, if they're interesting to you and you want to actually see what we are happy to share, they're all done by LVR, as we said before. So just reach out to us or leave a comment and say, send me the slides. We'll just need your email address and we'll be happy to send them to you. Just a really kind of cool overall. Good time to note, we also do a neighborhood market report for your specific neighborhood that comes out once a month. That's an automated email that can come to you if you're interested in that and you want to know in your community only. So for instance, like let's say Southern Highlands. I live in the Southern Highlands Golf Club and I want to know what's going on only in my neighborhood. We can send you a report for that every single month. So if you're interested in that in the Las Vegas area or any specific community, please let us know and we'll be happy to get that to you. All right, so we're going to look at number of closings on single family homes. We already told you how many units. It is up 41.8% for the prior month and up 6.8% from the prior year. So we're just selling more. We're closing more homes and that should continue. We talked about median price already. It is down 0.4%, which is, relatively nothing from the month before, and 1% from the year before. Price has been very steady from, I would say, 2023 on. If you bought a home in Las Vegas in the last 3 years, it likely is worth just about what you bought it for, give or take a couple percentage points. It has not changed a huge amount unless you have changed it a huge amount, right? But in that case, you've spent money to make money. So, but overall, the last 3 years have really been, I don't want to say a wash entirely because we have inflation and appreciation, but it's very similar. Okay. We talked about the number of new listings. We talked about the effective months of availability. So, which means, how long it would take and how many closings. So I want to get to the end here and just kind of go over with you a couple of notes and what we're seeing in the market. And then we will let you go. So on the listing side of things, so when you're selling a home, this is what I'm seeing. It's a tale of two different things. Number one, we price the house at or under market value, right? Meaning we're creating a competition around what else is in the marketplace. We're being aggressive with the price, with the marketing. The home is well kept. It does not in need of, a bunch of major repairs. If we do that, your home is one of those 50%. And that's what I'm seeing. It's going to sell a lot of times within the first 2 weeks or 30 days if we want to pick a nice round number. But honestly, what we're seeing is if it's priced right, it's going to sell within the first couple weeks. And we likely could get more than one offer. Right now, especially, do not be afraid of the first offer you receive. It a lot of times will be the best one you're going to get because it's the shortest time on market. The longer you're on the market, the less likely you are to get as close to your price. So the other flip of the coin, the second thing we're seeing in listings, if you're pricing above market value or trying to get a little bit more, or the house is outdated or in need of work, especially cosmetically, it is going to take you over 30 days to sell your house. You're going to be one of the 45% in single family homes that we talked about. And generally, you're going to have to come down on price. And that may be in list price, like as far as reducing your price and then, coming to a price that will cause it to sell, or you're going to stay at your price and then people are just going to offer you less and you're eventually going to negotiate it down. Okay, so those are the two things that we're seeing. Either way, you want to be patient, pick your price and understand the market and be patient in your decisions. If you're going to go for it and you're going to price a little bit high, be patient in that decision and just know that if you don't get anything within 30 days, we're going to have to reduce the price because it's not just going to magically sell. If we price appropriately and we're getting showings and you start to get offers right away, then you're going to be one of those that does it within the 30-day period. But either way, I think almost every listing we've had this year has sold so far. I need some wood to knock on. I shouldn't have done that to myself. So it will sell. We will get it sold. Your agent will get it sold. Hopefully that's us. But be patient. Trust the process. Listen to your agent. Ask the right questions, and believe them in the statistics that they're giving you. It's not a terrible real estate market. The numbers you just heard are totally fine and fairly normal, honestly. But we do have to price right and we have to be aggressive. All right, now buyer side. You just heard that 55% of the homes are selling within 30 days. So as a buyer, if you're going to shop up to your price, you're going to want to see the homes when they're coming on the market, especially if you're going to be willing to pay what the asking price is. And you'll know when you walk in and it's the home you want, don't be afraid to pay what they're asking if it makes sense, right? Have your real estate agent. We always run comparables for our buyers and make sure they're paying a fair price. But generally speaking, those homes, if you can get in there and make a good offer because of the way the market is, they will consider you. You can also get pretty good terms, meaning a lot of our sellers right now, they're willing to pay closing costs. They're willing to help with home warranty. They're willing to pay buyer agent compensation up to a certain level, which is always negotiable, by the way. So don't send me your attorneys and such. Everything is negotiable in real estate. But as a buyer, you can get good terms on a property. You don't have to overcompete or overpay, and you can get some costs back and some concessions from a seller, because most of them understand the market. They understand that they don't have all the power. It's a back and forth. There's a lot of middle ground negotiating room right now in real estate, which is great. It's a good time to get a good deal. All right. Now, if you're going to shop as well of those and you like something that's been on the market for a while, just understand that there's a reason for that. That property is likely going to need some work, may have, something that other people just didn't necessarily want to deal with, right? Like an outdated kitchen, or, a backyard that needs a lot of work, or something of that nature. And so you can choose to overcome those, or they just simply aren't priced right and they haven't quite figured it out, or they don't want to admit it. And so on those, what we can do is we can just start low and try to negotiate you somewhere in the middle of what you think the fair market value for that home would be. Now there's a difference between just outright lowballing and doing it strategically, where we can expect a counter offer and try to wiggle, the price and the terms to help you. Okay. So that's really what I'm seeing in buyers and sellers right now. If you're an investor and you're specifically looking to buy and hold property, you will want to look for something that's been on the market a while. Okay. You want to try to get a better deal on the way in, and just understand that if you are going to put a smaller percentage down as an investor, you're likely not going to cash flow on that property. Our rents are not over and above enough to make up for the difference between your mortgage payment with the rates that they are and what you can get for rent on that property. So just keep that in mind. If you're wanting to buy and hold property right now and you're a cash buyer, you can get great terms and it could be a well worth purchase for you. If you are getting a loan, you're probably going to need to put, I would say, 40% down or more on most properties for them to just outright cash flow from day one. Okay, so just consider that if you're looking to invest in Las Vegas. We get decent rent for property, but it's not California. We don't get these massive rental rates that make it kind of a no-brainer. And there's other places in the Midwest, certain places in Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma that I've seen, where you can buy in pretty low still and the rent is beneficial for you. So we just aren't quite there yet market-wise in Vegas anymore. The rates definitely made it harder for you to buy and cash flow on a renter right away. If you're looking to flip property, those deals are always out there. Definitely let us know. We can, be on the lookout for a certain thing that might need work or have a good flip potential. Just know that I'm looking too. So we'll be competitors with each other and see who wants to make a better deal. But those are always fun, and you just got to be patient. They're out there. A lot of times they're off market. Best deals are off market in all cases for that type of investing. But a lot of interesting things right now in the marketplace. That is, I think, pretty much sums up all sides of real estate for the most part. I think the only one we didn't talk about is if you're a tenant and you're renting, give us a call so we can help you buy. That would be my best advice. But if you do have to rent, the rents right now are not too bad. Like I said, you could live in California, so might be a decent time to do that and build up your wealth and your equity and down payment options so that we can help you buy in the future. All right, that is your market update it'll be the month of May that this comes out. And if you guys need anything, like I said, you want the slides or just have a specific question about your situation or what you're looking to do, we are happy to divulge that to you for the Las Vegas and Henderson real estate markets. Reach out to us. Our email is info@powersre.com. You can send me your questions, concern, ask for the slides. We'll get back to you there. And otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you're watching, we're in a new studio, and it may look even different the next time we film. So keep watching. We're going to be doing big things and lots of fun stuff coming.